It was a time when mental illness was locked in the closet. After suffering a nervous breakdown in 1952, Jimmy Piersall rejoined the Boston Red Sox and went public with his illness. Some of the fans rode him mercilessly, but he was a dynamic center fielder, and his career lasted 17 big league seasons. In 1973, Woodie tracked down Jimmy Piersall in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Jim Piersall always played baseball as if it were a kind of war, and when he wasn't swinging at baseballs, he swung at the men who threw them. And sometimes at those fans whose passions led them from the rim of the action to its hub. Through the 17 years of his big league career and through the 5 cities where he played, the inner bugles sounded the charge many times. Early on in his playing days, he discovered that another war was taking place inside him, and after submitting himself to psychiatric treatment, he wrote a book about his emotional crisis, which in turn became a successful film.
As a young man, Jim Piersall stood at the edge of the waveless black ocean of despair and fought a successful battle with mental illness. Now, a cheerful grandfather, he deals optimistically with an up-and-down world as a minor league manager.
The Orangeburg, South Carolina team is further from the big time than the shirts would suggest. But to Piersall it is promising clay, which he can shape to the success he has never given up wanting.
All right, let's do a lap. Come on.
Mellowness, moderation, maturity, or perhaps simple peace after pain have made a manager who, if not barkless, is agreeably biteless.
Now we're out of balls. You know what you're doing last night? You're playing pepper, hitting them up in the stands, nobody go get them. Now get off your lazy butts and go get the ball, because this is all we got left. We got 16 balls.
The ears which once listened for taunts also drank in many tips, and the batting cage is a classroom for those who care to learn.
That's it. I definitely think you have a better thing with it up this way.
I try to pass on to these young players a lot of the things I learned from the great players I played with, because I didn't play every position, but I did have the opportunity to play with some great ones like Williams and against DiMaggio and some of the players that certainly passed on things to me. I was a great guy for asking a lot of questions when I was their age.
Now 43, Piersall capers over the bumpy Bush League diamond with a kind of boyish gaiety. He doesn't seem so far in outlook or in outline from the hopeful boys who are his charges. Although when the game begins, he must reflect soberly that the world doesn't seem in any large numbers to be supporting or observing those hopes. He must put aside, too, the perfectionism that was the rowel which touched him to greater effort and tore at him when perfection proved impossible.
Holy crap, let's go, come on!
I give a player a certain amount of headway as long as he follows the fundamental parts of the game. But as far as making errors, that's why we're here. These young players are going to make errors, and I have to understand this.
Some residue of anger still remains, but where once it burst bomb-like, it is now channeled toward acceptable, natural targets.
Oh, you're a better umpire than that. Go!
And there is always energy left for the happy task of adjuration.
Come on, what are you thinking about back there now? Come on, shake yourself! All right, now, Lou, what the heck's going on now? All of a sudden you're going to go blind? That's it, score, come on, Kate.
A victory doesn't push Orangeburg to any particular prominence in the Western Carolinas League, but a sign of mental health is to accept the favor of today without the fear of tomorrow.
I love it. I think it's great. I want to stay in baseball. It's been my life for 25 or 26 years, and if it's possible, I want to stay in it because I feel baseball needs guys like Jimmy Piersall and Leo DeRocher and Billy Martin and the Ted Williams.
Do you think that what happened to you in the past has been a handicap to you in later years?
Well, I'd have to say yes. I think that because I've had the problems in talking to psychiatrists and because I am a type of high-strung individual, that the stigma is attached to mental illness. But yet, we're the type of people that give you 125% for your dollar, and certainly I feel that I'm capable of doing the job in baseball, and I certainly hope that there's some place in the game for me.
All right, let's go, let's go!
The little caravan doesn't, in the larger sense, appear to be going anywhere. But if it's true that the journey, not the arrival, matters, Jim Piersall seems at last on a road free of potholes. This is Heywood Hale Broun in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Jimmy Piersall later became a broadcaster with the Chicago White Sox.